Y'all hear me? Is it on a little bit? Kind of struggling? Can y'all hear me? Okay, good. Y'all gotta give me a moment to reflect. I'm kind of waxing nostalgic right now. I know this guy. We've known him for a very long time. We actually grew up together in Atlanta, and I haven't seen him in some years. But he was gracious enough to take time out of his busy schedule to come and be with us this evening. So I want to thank him on behalf of our president, Dr. Claude G. Perkins, and all of our faculty, staff, and students. I know that you're a very busy man, but when I called, he came, and I really appreciate that. So if y'all just give him another round of applause.
Can y'all hear me? Because I can't hear me. Y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. How y'all doing?
Yeah.
Cool. Hey, I appreciate you inviting me. Like you said, we've known each other since we were, I don't know, maybe 12,
13 years old.
Yeah, probably about 12 or 13 years old. We met each other at church. We used to go to this huge church out in Decatur, Georgia. And, it's weird seeing him in this role here.
Don't do that to me.
Wait, don't do it to me. I got stories too. But it is interesting, just seeing the paths that everybody is taking. Like how some friends of ours right now, Sharita Murphy, they're on the road with T-Pain right now. I just saw them on like Facebook the other day, doing sound check with them.
That's crazy.
This church we went to was kind of like, well, y'all too young. Y'all always know this TV show called Fame. But it's like this high school where like everybody like sang and danced and did all this stuff like that. But that's how our church was, and that's kind of really where I found my voice. And it was something that, I guess for a couple of years when I got out, when I left the church and started doing my own thing, it was something I just tried to shake a little bit, because I was the kid that was going to church on Sunday and then like in trouble at school the next day. Like running around, getting in fights and having, doing the non-church stuff, and then back on church on Sunday or on Wednesday doing choir practice. So, I had like this dual life, because when you're young, you're always trying to be cool. I'm sure some of y'all can relate. When you're 15, 16, 18, 21, 25, you just really want to be cool, especially as a man. When you're a young man, you're doing everything that you're doing, from the car that you drive, the stuff that you buy, the clothes you wear, the way you talk, is all, really just trying to impress girls and be cool with your homeboys. And that was something that I struggled with. It wasn't until I got much older that I figured out who I am and was satisfied with it, and I was able to kind of take my career on to the next level.
Well, so Nick, I'm gonna jump straight into it, and you kind of set the stage a little bit. But how did you make the transition from? Of course, when we were, in church and everything, Nick's a singer. A lot of people don't know that.
No, hey, that's a secret.
That's a secret, right.
Yeah.
But how did you make the transition from that into your foray into the hip hop industry and co-founding Coalition DJs? And I know you didn't start out with Coalition DJs. You got a long story in terms of how that transpired. Can you just share a little bit?
All right, so this story could be extended, but I'll keep it cool and brief. So when I wanted to be an artist, I always wanted to be an artist, even when I was young. Like, when I was like 5, 6 years old, they asked me, like, what do you want to do when you get older? And I was like, I want to be Michael Jackson. Like, that was my goal in life. I never wanted to be a policeman, fireman, doctor. I was like, Michael Jackson. I want to dance, sing, be famous, wear sunglasses, glittery socks, and roll all over living. Like, that was my answer to everything. So, as I got older, I started wanting to be Nate Dogg. Do y'all remember Nate Dogg? Everybody say Nate Dogg? Yeah, okay, cool. Like, I'm tripping, because like y'all in college, it's a whole nother thing for me. But I wanted to be Nate Dogg. I was like, wow, you can sing and curse at the same time? That's amazing. That was incredible to me. And I started out wanting to do that. And so me and some buddies of mine from high school, maybe the year after I got out of high school, I went to college for like a year. And that second year of college, I ran into some buddies of mine from high school that I was really cool with. They were doing music, and so I clicked up with them, and we started trying to do the rap and artist thing. And so we got to a point, we were working at this studio in downtown called Meta Music in downtown Atlanta, the guy that we were paying to consult us was like, okay, cool, now that the music's done, how are you gonna get out? Get the music out to the people. And we all looked at each other and we were like, I don't know. We just thought it would just magically happen. You make music, you start rapping, and then people just pay you money. We didn't know there was a process to it. And at that point, he was like, I tell you what, Nick, you should do it. You should do the marketing. I'm like, what is that? And he was like, well, you're personable, so, you like to talk to people, you're fairly social, so you're the one that should go take the music to the DJs, and you take it to the radio station and, pass out flyers, and when y'all press out CDs, you be the one that talks for y'all. And I'm like, okay, but, where's the money in that? Because at the time, I didn't know there was any money behind the scenes in the music business. And so, but it took me a very, very short amount of time to figure out where the money was on that side of it, and I never looked back. And like I said, it was a simple transition for me. And keep in mind, like at that time, when we're trying to figure this out, I'm turning 19, 20, 21, and I knew for a fact, because I was getting jobs, and I was a person, I've had, at last count, I think I had maybe 40 jobs that I quit. Like,
that's a lot of jobs.
Yeah, but I quit them all at lunch. Like, first break. I would go to break. I would get to work at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, getting my badge, whatever it was I was doing. First break at 10:30, I was quitting the job and jumping in my car and going home. And I just didn't want to be there. Like, there was something that was always in me that was like, you're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to, you're not supposed to have a regular job. And that was something that, my parents fought for a long time. Like, try explaining to parents who have worked for, 20, 25, 30 years that you all of a sudden want to be in the music business and you don't know how you're going to make money and you don't really have a real plan, you just want to do it. That sounds completely foreign, to them. And so, I just kind of started hopping. Like, I remember, literally, I remember one job, UPS.
Shouts out to UPS.
Shout out to UPS. I quit UPS around lunch. I quit Sara Lee Bakery at the first break. I quit, I think the longest job I kept for a long time was like Pizza Hut. And that was like a 3-month gig.
So how did you transition from, kind of going from job to job to establishing a niche and did you, is it when you got with Jeezy? Because inquiring minds want to know.
No.
How did you get with Jeezy?
Well, okay, here's that story is this is a real quick story. So this is what happened. So I'm hopping from job to job, and then my girlfriend at the time, who I met in college, she gets pregnant. And I'm like, okay, cool, I can't keep hopping from job to job, I got a baby on the way, I gotta figure this out. So I started interning at DTP with Lilly.
Intern? Yeah, we heard that before?
Anybody? Oh, y'all intern?
We're trying to get him to intern.
Oh, no, you should definitely do that. Nobody wants, I'll get to that later. But I interned for DTP. I was going around working in music. They had just signed Bobby V. They had just signed Shauna. 2 Chainz was still Titty Boy at the time.
I didn't know that.
Actually, he wasn't even the solo artist. He was in Player Circle. He was in the group.
Right.
So
2 Chainz graduated from Alabama State, though. Did y'all know that? Yeah. With like a 4.0 GPA in math.
Yeah, he's a smart dude. Like, if you ever sit there and talk to him, he's incredibly intelligent. But I was interning for them, and so as we're getting closer and closer to my first daughter being born, I'm like, I gotta make some money. So what I started doing was, I lied to the people at DTP. I was like, listen, I can take y'all music out of town. I can take it to, now we're in Atlanta, so I don't know how familiar y'all are with the city, but within like a 2-mile radius, you got Chattanooga, Tennessee, Birmingham, Alabama, Columbus, Georgia, Macon, Georgia, Augusta, Georgia, and like Greenville, South Carolina. So I was like, I tell y'all what, I can take y'all music out of town, give me money. And they were like, well, how much? And at the time, like I said, I'm still young. I'm like, okay, well, just give me some gas money, a couple extra bucks in my pocket. I'm cool. And that's kind of how it started. It started with me lying, and then I had to figure out how to make the lie true. And so I started traveling. I tore up like 2 cars. I had a Suzuki Rodeo that I drove into the ground. I had a Volkswagen Jetta that I drove into the ground. And I'm talking about beat these cars to shreds. I mean, just between not taking care of the oil, the tires, it was horrible what I did to these cars. I mean, like, downright embarrassing. And so in the process of doing that, I met T.I. T.I. was working with DJ Toon. Toon was starting his label, so I started working with Toon. Like, all this is happening very, very fast. So I'm going from Luda to Toon, then I meet Dallas Austin. Dallas Austin had this group called The Backwoods. They had the You Gon' Love Me record. I had just come off of doing Bobby V. And so Dallas Austin hires me, he gives me a check, so now I'm running around, and again, still faking it till I make it, because it looked good on the outside, but really and truly, I'm really struggling.
But how hard were you working at this? I think a lot of times people think, you just make these connections. I mean, what kind of work ethic had to go behind?
Well, hold on, but keep in mind this, I mean, some of the story I'm kind of leaving out. Keep in mind, I'm still getting these jobs and quitting them while I'm doing this music stuff. So I'm still working 9 to 5 and then doing the music stuff in the evening. So my mom finally got me a job. My mom worked at the Fulton County government. She was in the tax assessor office. So she gets me a job in the tag office. At first, I was in the tag office. And this is where the Jesus stuff comes in. I'm working in the tag office. Everybody in the tag office knows I hate it. No, they know for a fact I hate it. And the trick part is my mama got the job. My mom is still working, with the county. So everybody knows my mom. They knows me. My last name is Love, so I'm not hard to find. I'm not hard to pick out. And that's my real name. It's not my industry cool rap name or nothing like that. That's my real name. So I'm working at the tag office, and Kinky B, who was Jeezy's partner at the time, Kink comes in to get the tags for the car. This time they were Young Guns Entertainment. And in the course of me going to Macon, working records in the evening after I leave this job, I had to run into him before. So he got help at another window from where the tag office, and one of the ladies there, she was like, "Hey, Nick, you know that guy?" I'm like, "Who?" She's like, "It's he works for some company called Young Guns Entertainment." So I get up from my desk and I run outside, and I'm like, "Yo." He looked back, he say, "What's up?" And he kind of keep walking, he turns around, he said, "Hold on, didn't I just see you Saturday?" Just like a Tuesday, Wednesday. He's like, "Didn't I just see you Saturday in Macon?" I said, "Yeah, I didn't think you remember me." He was like, "Oh, okay, cool, what's up?" I said, "Well, listen, I do marketing." He was like, "No, you don't, you work at the tag office. I just seen you got shirt and tie." I'm like, "No, I do marketing for real, man." I said, "I know who you are." And I said, "I'm familiar with Jay." Because I've been moving around, so I know who Jay is, and I said, "I think I can help y'all out. I think we can really do something." He said, "For real?" He said, "I'll tell you what, come by the house." They had a house in Alpharetta. He said, "Come by the house and we're gonna figure it out." I walked back in the office, no lie. I walked back in the office and I told her that I'm quitting in 2 weeks. And she looked at me and she called my mom. This is serious, like I'm 21 years old, she's calling my mom. She's like, Nicholas came in, he's talking about he's quitting. My mom was like calling, like it's like getting called to the principal's office. It was like really super whack. But I said, "I'm quitting." I went home, I typed up the letter, sent it in. Like, mind you, Young Guns Entertainment wasn't CTE at the time. Jeezy wasn't Jeezy, he was still Jay. And I'm just like, okay, this is my opportunity. And literally within a year and a half time, we were working out of a house. It was me, Coach K, Jeezy, Kink, his assistant at the time, Twin, who works with Coach K still now. And it was 5 of us working out of a house. And then it became what it became. And so this is when we came up with the Trap or Die stuff, the Snowman stuff, Streets is Watching. Like, we came up with this at the house and just figured it out from there. We were just basically winging it every day.
Wow. What would you share with students? I mean, that's a compelling story. I mean, it seems like it's something that was almost divinely inspired, almost the way things just kind of came together. I mean, what would you say to students we have students that are in our fine arts department here. We have students that are artists from whether it be visual art or music or what have you. I mean, what would you share with them with regard to things just seem like they kind of worked out for you? I mean, what would you say to someone that's trying to break into the business or trying to break into the industry? What kind of advice would you give them?
Well, it's funny that you say it like that, because that's how I describe my story. I say it just kind of worked out. So the first thing I would say to anybody who wants to do what I do is I would never recommend that anybody do what I did. Like, everything that I did is the most unorthodox, uncanny, not normal way for things to kind of iron themselves out. Like I said, I got 2 daughters, and I would never tell them to do what Daddy did. I really don't want them in this business for one, but beyond that, it's like things worked out for me. And I'm sure some of you all, maybe, especially the females, y'all may know. Any females in here that's dating a guy that want to rap, produce, sing?
Come on, raise your hand.
One of y'all got a rapper boyfriend somewhere. But like in Atlanta, like I'm in Atlanta, right? The home of like rap music, R&B, hip hop.
Everybody
in Atlanta does something. Everybody's VIP. Everybody's a rapper, singer, dancer, producer, something. So you know, when I think back to my stuff, I'm just blessed. Like, it came from, kind of growing up in church and just having faith and praying and working hard and just things, things really iron out for me. But I know people, I'm 34 years old now, but I know people who are my age or older that are still trying to figure it out, working on mixtapes and stuff, and I'm like, you need to stop. But I mean, who am I to say you need to stop? You know what I'm saying? Because if it didn't work out for me when it worked out, when would I have stopped? And I ask myself that all the time. Like, at what point would I have said, I should quit? And it's so easy to tell a dude or a female, hey, and that rap stuff ain't gonna work out for you. Because every now and then there's a 2 Chainz that comes along, right? 2 Chainz figures it out at 36, 37 years old, right, and booms. But that's not the norm. Hip hop is a young man's game. Like if you ain't really figured it out by, almost by your mid-20s at the latest, you need to move on. But again, who am I to tell somebody to quit when it just worked out for me? My goal in life, when I figured out the marketing thing, was to become the VP of marketing for somebody's label. I got the job at 23 years old, and I never had a dream beyond that. And that was the scariest thing in the world, because I worked with Jeezy for 6 years. I did 2 albums, all the early mixtapes.
So what was actually your exact role? I'm sure it probably evolved over time, but
it was VP of marketing. But keep in mind, I was the VP of nobody. It was just me. I had this title, right? So I'm the VP of marketing and promotions. It's just me. So then I started having interns.
So what did that entail? I mean, for our students that don't know, to be a VP of marketing and promotions and be a division of one, what did that really entail on a day-to-day?
Okay, I'll tell you what it's supposed to mean, and I'll tell you what it did mean. What it's supposed to mean is that you're in charge of overseeing all the advertising, the promotions, and marketing efforts geared toward the release of music for the label. So anytime we had a tape, an album, a single, he was going to be somewhere, a concert, whatever it was, my job was to make sure that everybody was aware of it. And at the time, keep in mind, there's no Instagram, there was no Facebook. Facebook was around, but black people weren't on it. Instagram wasn't there, Twitter wasn't there, so I think we had MySpace at the time. God, yeah,
that was a long time ago, wasn't it?
We had MySpace and basically word of mouth. So we were just pressing up hundreds of thousands of mixtapes and just kind of really doing everything from word of mouth and hand to hand. But that was my job, and my job was to make sure that the label looked bigger than what it was, because keep in mind, we had money, but it wasn't the right money. It was money that we got hustling. So, and here's the funny thing, because early on, and I always tell this story, keep in mind, everybody at the label, we were like a mini death row at the time. Like, everybody had problems at the time. Like, everybody had a case. Everybody was in some form of trouble, or it was and we're running this company, and it's like a bunch of functioning criminals, which I laugh about now, but back then it was so far-fetched to see that these people who were really, really smart people, like Demetrius now, we're Kiki B, is one of the smartest people I know. Coach K is one of the smartest people I know, but all of us were, 1 foot in and 1 foot out, trying to fund this life before we made anything. And so, the job was a job of just really trying to create something to make it larger than what it was. So anytime we would go out, we would hang out. I would go out and I would hire my little brothers or cousins of mine. We would go out and hang these posters. I would go to the AU Center with Clark and Morris Brown and all that. We would hire girls the day of. Hey, want to make some money real quick? Cool. I need you to go stand outside, wear this T-shirt, and I need 40 of y'all. And Jeezy was getting hot, so it was easy to get 40 girls to do something. But it was an impromptu staff.
Right.
It wasn't organized, it wasn't planned out right. It was completely, not done the correct way.
So how does that compare? Because a lot of times you'll hear, young people, or just people in general say, well, you know what, a 9 to 5 is not for me. I don't want to have a 9 to 5. I want to start my own business, which is great. But I think a lot of times people think that it's actually less work versus getting up and going to work every day. Can you just share a little bit with our students in that regard?
Okay, well, let me say this for everybody that's in the room. First things first. If I had some, in between all the jobs I was quitting, I had some really, really good jobs. I remember one job I had at Lucent Technologies. I was making at the time, I was 19, 19. I was making like $16 an hour watching a machine that pretty much ran itself. I really didn't do any work, like none, and was getting a good check. I bought an Audi. I bought an A4 like for like my 20th birthday. Like I was rolling, and I hated the job, like hated it, and I wasn't doing nothing. Something that people would switch places with me in a heartbeat to get this job. And I got it from somebody, my dad knew somebody, and I figured it out, and I applied, and it worked out for me. But I say all that to say this: if you consider a job a good job, and you look around and you say, you know what, this ain't that bad, I can be comfortable with this, stay there. Because you don't have that burning passion and that burning desire to get out of there. Like, that 9-to-5 life can be for you, and it probably should be for you. It should be for most people. Half people in the music business should have 9-to-5 jobs and go somewhere else, to be honest with you. They don't need to be doing this. But this life is not for everyone. Like, I've gone months with no money. Like, I've gotten a $10,000 check, $20,000 check, and then 3-4 months of zero. And then all of a sudden, a big check pop up. And that ain't for everybody from the standpoint of just budgeting and balancing. And keep in mind, you're surrounded by a bunch of people that's your age that want to go buy cars and go to the strip club. And
so you're trying to keep up a lot of time.
Again, you're young, so you want to be cool. You want to be in the in crowd, and you know, like especially with young black men, you don't ever want somebody to tell you that you ain't getting what they think you're getting. So you know, you want to be like, oh, you don't think I got some money? I'm gonna show you I got some money, and then you know, you find yourself buying a watch or a necklace, and you're like, I completely should not have bought that. And, you know, they don't let you return gold necklaces, and there ain't no return policy on diamond watches and stuff. It ain't. You know?
So post the Jeezy years, you were with Jeezy for about what, 6 years?
6 years.
6 years.
It's almost 7. Mm-hmm.
So let's get into the fact that recently, I think within the past year, you were featured in the Wall Street Journal.
Absolutely.
But that wasn't connected with Jeezy.
Nope.
That was connected with another venture that you're still currently involved in now called Coalition DJs. How did that come about?
Okay, so Coalition DJs are a crew of DJs in Atlanta. They work at various clubs in the city. But these guys were the guys that I broke Jeezy's music through. So,
and when you say broke the music through, what
all right, so when Jeezy was an indie artist and nobody knew who he was, we had to get the music played somewhere. So, you know, there's a lot of smaller clubs in the city that made it a lot easier for us to go in and kind of do our thing. Because, you know, with radio, there's a lot of headache and politics and, you know, things involved that we couldn't regularly get to. A lot of the mainstream kind of mega clubs, they were only playing stuff that was on the radio, so we had to go kind of a smaller route. So these guys were the people that I used to break his music and get his music out to the masses.
How did you know to do that? I mean, was that a model that already existed? Or was it something?
I mean, more or less. Okay, in Atlanta, you had it was a time where everybody had like a crew. So some of y'all might be familiar with like the affiliates. Well, they're the Academy now. Where it's Drama, Dunn, Cannon, Sense. They was the Academy. Then you had Mars and Trauma and all of them. They were Super Friends. You had Legion of Doom back then. You had Hitmen. You had all these different DJ crews. But they were scattered. There was so many of them, and this is kind of where I learned and figured out my current model. You would have a group of guys. Let's just say everybody on this side of the room, right, is a DJ. And so they would say, all right, cool, we are the left side DJs. That's the name of our crew. So if I wanted to get my song played, right, I either would have to go to each one of y'all individually, or hopefully one of y'all would say, all right, cool, I'm the leader. So come to me and I'll get the music out to everybody. But see, here's the problem with having a bunch of DJs. So this whole side crew, this whole side is DJs, right? And I hand the lead guy $1,000 to play a song. How much you think each one of these gonna get? Yeah, right. About $20 a piece, right? So if for $20 a piece, I'm to ask you to play my song every night in the club for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, or until the song just gets blazing hot, is almost unrealistic. When y'all say, would you do that work for $20 for somebody that you don't really know? No matter how much you like, you gotta really either love the song or really love me to do me that favor, right?
Right.
So, and that was what was happening in Atlanta. Everybody just wanted to be a part of something. So you have these large crews of 50 DJs, 60 DJs, and they would charge money for this, but the work wasn't getting done. So I went to these other guys that wasn't affiliated with nobody, and I was like, I need y'all. So when I left Jeezy, I went to the guys and I said, hey, you guys should start a crew. Like, everybody else got a crew, and they, seem to be working out for them to a certain degree, but I think y'all can do it better. And so they say, well, who's gonna run it? I'm like, I don't know, but I help y'all put it together. This was supposed to be a temp job for me.
Wow.
This is a temporary thing that I was just doing to really help them out. And I've been around, since we started the business in 2008, officially. And I've been doing it ever since. And this is what I wake up and do this every day in addition to everything else that I do. But I was in the Wall Street Journal, and Wall Street Journal is one of the few things I could show my mom and be like, look, like
I made it.
Yeah, like, cause she, like my mom still, even to this day, like she gets it.
She's like, what do you really do?
But yeah, I was the guy that would go to family reunions and they'd be like, well, so what do you really do though? Like, we saw you on MySpace or whatever. And you was in LA, and then we saw you in New York, and I saw you take a picture with this one or that one. But what do you actually do? Because again, everybody got the same mentality. You don't rap, so how do you make money?
Right.
And the only way that my parents know how to make money is to go in and get a job. She's like, but they don't have a time card. You ain't punching no clock. You don't even really get a check. For real, you getting cash here and there. Like, for years, like I would try to give my mom money. Like I was making good money. Right. I was still making good money. But
I was like, nah, I don't know where you got this from. You get cash. But I would try to give her sneakers for her birthday. I'm talking about like running shoes. And my mom was like, yeah, no, I'm cool. You need that. I'm like, $60? I'm cool. Right. She's like, nah, you your kids need that. I'm like, okay. But the Wall Street Journal they came to us, and like I said, I always joke about this. Most times you see somebody my age in the Wall Street Journal, we done embezzled something. It was a large drug ring that got taken down. Like it was something, crazy. And mine was completely legal. On a massive scale, and they didn't just. I wasn't like in the music section. There's no music section of the Wall Street Journal. They was applauding us for our business acumen and how we put together this organized structure of DJs who have been able to funnel music and break artists who have become the biggest artists in the country right now. So share how you do that. I mean, share what the model is. I won't want you to reveal the secrets, if you will, but share what the actual Coalition DJ model is, and then maybe if you can share some of the students, some of the popular maybe songs that they've heard that actually Coalition DJs were responsible for really kind of popping off.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna tell you one big blanket statement, and then I'll go into the details of it. First of all, what I do is really, really cool and really, really special, but nobody would care if I wasn't in Atlanta. Atlanta puts out incredible music, and you can't do an album. But I'm saying all this to say this, like, okay, you can't, if you're in the hip hop and R&B business right now, you cannot do an album without coming to Atlanta for something. You can't do an album without getting a beat, a hook, a feature, something from somebody in Atlanta. All the talent, all the music, all the production that's really popular right now is in the city. So, I mean, from a songwriting standpoint, from The Dream, Sean Garrett, Rock City, Verse Simmons, to the rappers, Jeezy, 2 Chainz, Tip, Quan, Thug, Migos, I mean, on and on. Production, I mean, we got all the producers. Street Execs just opened up their studio, so they got everybody. Everything is in Atlanta. But I tell people all the time, like if I was doing this same thing out of Omaha, Nebraska, nobody would care. Shout out to Omaha! Shout out to Omaha! Really? Get out of here.
I asked him all the time, like,
you gonna talk about this?
I asked him, I said, they have black people in Omaha.
But what I did was this. I started out with 4 DJs. DJ Nando, who was tragically killed last year.
Rest in peace. He's actually from Virginia,
He's from Virginia, yeah. His family is out in King's Dominion, I think that's what they said. I actually went to see the gravesite today when I got off the plane. I went straight to the cemetery. But Nando, X-Rated, Big X, and Funky. I started out with 4 guys. And what I did was I said, all right, cool, guys, I'm going to find you guys money. I'll make my money off what I find, y'all. They were already working in clubs. I said, I'll make whatever money I bring in, that's how I'll make my money. And we started there with a small model, but the easiest thing in the world is to get 4 people on the same page. Now again, like I said, using the same example I had, it'd be way easier to get these 4 to do something than to get all 40, 50 of y'all to do something. If I got a problem, I can go see all 4 of them in one night. I can pull up at everybody's house, I pull up at everybody's club, and handle any business. I can give them money, I can take money back, I can address issues that we may have, I can, give incentives, bonuses, whatever the case may be. But if I gotta make 50 calls, you see how difficult that becomes. So I started out with 4 DJs, and keep in mind, these were 4 hot DJs that just wasn't attached to nobody. The good thing about me was I came from a situation where I had made somebody else work, and it was Jeezy. And one thing about Jeezy at the time was everybody know he's a well-known, and still is a well-known hardhead. Or I really want to say another word, but we in college. But it's well known how he rocks. And they were like, well, you know, if you can get him to listen to you, you must be talking about something.
Right.
Because you have to have a certain type of swag and a certain type of attitude to even deal with him. Because he's going to bark back at everything. You can tell Jesus Sky Blue, and he'll be like, no, it ain't. And he'll fight you about it. Like, really, like, oh, okay, thanks Sky Blue, I tell you what, it ain't going to be blue in a minute. Like that's how he's always been. You know what I'm saying? So you got to...
Shouts out to Jesus.
You can't be... Yeah, exactly. But you can't be timid around him. You know, you can't be timid. You can't be shy. You can't be an introvert around a guy who has a massive...
Very forthright, just his personality.
Very forthright, but a natural leader. He always has an exact direction in his head. He's always known exactly what he wanted to do, how he wanted to do it, what it was going to take to get it done, and he just wanted to get it executed. And so you couldn't come to him like, I think we should probably maybe kind of sort of, I don't know if this is a word. You got to go in, even if it's the dumbest idea, and be like, this is what we're going to do. It's going to be incredible. Now you got to sell it. But then you got to go figure it out, you know. So I started with the guys, and so what we started doing was charging artists to play their music in the clubs. So we had 4 DJs.
Was that new? I mean, was that something innovative?
It was. Well, what I did was innovative from the standpoint of I only had 4 guys, and so I was, you know, David and Goliath, you know, thing. I got all these big name DJs who were way more popular. I had just left Jeezy, so everybody's looking at me crazy, like, why would you leave CTE? Like, you know, that's where the money.
So you chose to leave CTE?
Oh, the last time I chose, like, let me tell you what me and Jeezy would fire me. Bring me back, I quit, I go back, he fired me, I go back, I quit. We did this for a while. Like it was always a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I can tell y'all some crazy stuff about him that y'all be like, nah, he wouldn't do that. I'm like, yes he would. He'd absolutely do that. He did it. I watched him do it. But you know what I'm saying? But that's my man. Like I'll tell y'all one story. I hope y'all put it on Instagram too. One time Jesus and them came to me one time, they was like, yo, like this mind you, we like going into the second album. We had really made some good money. So Jesus was like, hey man, so he tells King comes to me and he says, yo man, I don't think that, you know, going into this new album, they reforecasted the budget. I don't know if we're gonna be ready to pay you, you know, your salary that, you know, you've been getting. So, you know, we probably just want to just let you go, man, because I don't think it really makes sense to keep you because the money, you know, the money gonna be funny. So I'm like, okay. Now mind you, I'm knowing this is some nonsense. So the next day I go to the office to get my stuff, right? King and Jeezy pull up in matching Lamborghinis. Like, literally, that white one and a lime green, they pull up. And it's like, this mind you, after they told me they couldn't afford to pay me no more. And I'm looking at the cars and I'm like, these $300,000 vehicles, like I just went and bought them. And bought them outright, like not
cash.
Car notes, like, yeah, bought them in cash. But can't pay me. And I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta go. I can't do this. And you know, but this is going on over the course of, you know, a few years. But it's like, this is my man to this day. Like I go pull up on him right now, like we kick it. But the good thing about it is, one, he respects me more now because now I'm not, the money that I've made and the name that I've made for myself didn't come from him.
Right.
He don't feel like, Jesus never give me the, I made you speech. Like, come on, dude. Like I've been actually I'm more successful since I left than I was when I was with him. Right. You know what I'm saying? So he looks at me with a completely different light. But you know, doing the 4 DJ thing, and we did that for a few years. It was innovative at the time. Like I said, I got 4 strip club DJs at the time. It was just them. And so keep in mind, with the Jeezy era, I don't know how familiar y'all with the whole BMF movement and all that. Like it was money flowing and everything, you know, but they was going through my DJs. Mm-hmm. Like my guy Nando, who was like we were talking about from Virginia, like he worked at Magic City, he worked at like the biggest clubs out there. So I had him, who was just as much of a hardhead as Jeezy, and they were just friends. So I'm telling two powerful people in the city, like, this is how you draw the move. Wow. And then we just started making it make sense. But again, we're charging money for these 4 guys. And then we added 1 more, and we added 3 more. So we became 8. And it started to grow. So now I got 16 DJs. But
so currently you have about 16 DJs.
I got 16 DJs, but keep in mind, over the course of that time, everybody else is falling out. All the other crews, are falling to the wayside because now I'm cutting into the money that was being made that they were making.
But now Coalition DJs, I mean, your reach is much far reaching, outside of just Atlanta and Georgia. I mean, you all do.
I got DJs in Detroit. I got DJs in the Carolinas. I got DJs in Miami. I got a couple of DJs that I'm trying to add in Houston and Dallas. I'm trying to figure out an LA play right now. But keep in mind, like the biggest.
So we might be able to get a couple of those to come to Union for homecoming next year, maybe.
We should do that.
Yes, we should.
We got you saying it's on camera.
Oh yeah, exactly. Well, I think I'm going to open up the floor for some questions. I think we have some questions from the audience. Ms. Alyssa Lee, if you could give us a couple questions. I want to ask one more question though.
Go ahead.
I know. Recently, I was watching an interview, and I mean, this had Twitter on fire, had Instagram, Facebook, everyone was on fire. I don't know if any of you all got to see it with Damon Dash. He did an interview on the Breakfast Club in New York, and I mean that was
the interview ignorant.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. For you all that didn't see it, basically the interview talked about, he got on and was saying basically if you worked a 9 to 5, you basically a sucker. That basically, you should own everything and you're supposed to be a boss and that kind of thing. And so I wanted to, as an entrepreneur in this business, I wanted to get your perspective on. How many of y'all saw the interview? Any of y'all seen the interview? It was something. So I want to get your perspective on Mr. Dash's kind of outlook on it.
Let me say this. Like, first of all, so I can put this in proper context. I'm a Dame Dash fan. Like, I like Dame. I had an opportunity to meet him once before. I had it was a pleasant encounter, and I just liked everything he stood for because he went so hard for Jay and the whole Rockefeller team. And one thing I will say for anybody who wants to kind of be behind the scenes in the business as a manager, marketing person doing what I do or whatever, I think the most gut-wrenching thing in this business is that when you're behind the scenes, you do all this work to build somebody else's platform, only for that person with the bigger platform to now be in a position to kind of put you out of the game. And so, you're standing, Dame standing behind Jay. Jay got so big that when he distanced himself from Dame, it made Dame look, weaker, but Jay wouldn't be where he is without him. To be honest with you, Jay, as talented as he was, you needed somebody like Dame, pushing buttons.
Right.
So I have all the respect in the world for Dame Dash. However, when it comes to that interview, I think the overall point might have been necessary. I think it was something that you want to preach to people to empower them and have your own stuff and own your own things and create and be entrepreneurs. I think it's very irresponsible to say things like having a 9 to 5 is for suckers. He said something like he said saving money is for suckers. I thought that was completely ignorant. Saving money is for suckers.
So save your money.
You got a 9 to 5. You call somebody a boss. That's like calling them your daddy.
Yeah.
He was saying all this kind of crazy stuff, and I'm like, first of all, me being the person that I am, I would never down talk anybody who got a 9 to 5 job. Like, dude, life is real.
Well, I appreciate that.
Bills are real, responsibilities are real,
I appreciate
kids are real. Life come at you fast, and you need money to support that. And everybody can't get out here and do some of the things. Now, keep in mind, out of all the people in this room, everybody in here ain't meant to be a hustler, legal or otherwise. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in here is not meant to be a boss. It's just not. If everybody in the room was a boss, who worked for y'all? You know what I'm saying? Who's the employees? Who are the followers? Everybody, it just ain't. The world ain't meant for everybody to be a chief.
Right.
You just can't be. So and if you call yourself a boss, who are you a boss of? If everybody in the room a boss. You know what I'm saying? So I look at that interview, like I said, some of the points were just so counterproductive because I saw a lot of people get on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram the next day quoting the interview, and I'm like, all right, cool.
So they're gonna quit. They're gonna
quit
their
all right,
job.
cool. I put it on Facebook. I said, all right, cool. Go ahead, quit your job tomorrow. See what happens. See what Georgia Power say. See what Verizon say. See what your utility people call you and say. See what the rent people or your mortgage people call and say.
You gonna tell them you a boss?
I'm gonna tell them you a boss. They're gonna say, all right, we're gonna cut that. Hey, look, I almost said this, but listen. At the end of the day, I just feel like if you have the patience and the passion and the opportunity and the personality to build something yourself, I say absolutely go for it. But there's no shame, there's no embarrassment in going to a job and collecting a check and taking care of yourself. Stuff costs.
Amen. 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 Ms. Lee, I'm gonna open the floor. If you all have any questions, there should have been some note cards that came around, and if you'll just get those up to Ms. Lee, we will. You got a couple. You got. Okay. So we got note cards here. If you need a note card, we'll get it up to Ms. Lee.
If you need a note card, just raise your hand, and Amber will come and give you one. Thanks, Amber. So, for the first question, I'm gonna let you check your phone. You good?
Oh, I'm fine.
All right.
I'm trying to put it on vibrate. I thought it was.
Okay. For the first question, it says, as a professional, what do you advise for us young African Americans if we feel like giving up? Why should we keep striving?
Oh, that was a real college question. That sounded real like y'all gonna keep striving. That's cool. That was just up to me. I mean, you keep striving because, like I said before, like stuff costs. What you gonna do? Just ball up and quit? Like again, like I don't. It's like for me, I took a lot of risk and a lot of chances to be in this business, and I'll start by saying this, like. My little short stint trying to be a hustler, like a street hustler, like I remember at a point, and I guess I can share this with y'all because I'm cool. But I remember selling weed at one point and being like, this is dumb. Like there ain't no money in this. Like and it's kind of boring. And it's not nearly as cool as everybody makes it look. I'm like, so I'm gonna stand out here all day and try to get this off for $5-10, and I'm like, this is
Not gonna happen.
This is weak. And it just didn't make no sense. Like I really I think I tried to like really be a drug dealer like for a really short amount of time. And I was like, this is stupid. But at the end of the day, I was like, well, I still want the stuff. You know, like like I said, I'm 18, 19, 20 years old, I still want Nikes.
J's.
Not even J's, because I came up, my parents, you know, we made it look good, but my parents had enough money to pay bills, but that was about it. We didn't do nothing. I didn't really have stuff. Anything I got for myself. Like, I didn't have Jordans, I didn't have starter coats, I didn't have all the cool stuff that we came up with. Like, I had none of that stuff. Like, I put like this. On my 21st birthday, I took myself to Disney World. For my 21st birthday, I took myself to Disney World. Like, we didn't go on vacations when I was a kid. So, but it was like, I still want things. So it's like, how am I gonna get it? And I don't want to be, I'm a grown man, or a growing man at that point. I'm like, I don't want to be asking my parents for no money, and I don't want to be dependent on anybody else. I want to go get it. So, I mean, for anybody else, I would just say, you know, find something that inspires you and motivates you and pushes you, and go for that. Like if it's a child that you may have, if it's, you know, things that you want to, you know, to have, if it's places you want to go, experiences you want to have, like let those things motivate you, because at the end of the day, you know, money's gonna come and go. Money comes and goes, believe me. Like, you know, I always tell artists when they come, you know, to get with my DJs, I'm like, that little money that I give them, once they pay a cell phone bill and get some gas, that money's gone. You know, you're paying for the, you know, for the entryway into the system more so than you are anything. You're just trying to build it. You're kind of shortcutting into a relationship, you know?
Right. Ms. Lee?
Thank you for that answer. For the next question, has your views on the music industry and the people in the music industry changed since working in the industry?
Absolutely, I hate them all.
Okay.
I do. When I first, I'm being 100% honest. When I first got into this business, everything looked cool and very glamorous and very just, you know, I thought the business was something else. I thought it was this thing, and I'm like, I can't wait to be a part of this.
Everybody's chill, everybody's cool, everybody's looking at each other.
Everybody's great and pretty, and you know, and I just had this idea from what I seen on TV. But what you realize is, especially, you know, me coming from Atlanta, but then also getting to travel, is that a lot of people are faking it. You know, I remember a time I went to a guy's house that I really thought had some money, and I got to his condo, and I'm like, man, there ain't no furniture in here. But like mind you, the condo was in like a nice area of the city where I was like, okay, like he really got it going on. Like we're gonna go ahead, it's gonna be a real player.
Go in, you see
I walk in, and I'm like, oh, y'all, okay. You know, everybody's been selling me dreams. I've been spending all this time trying to be like y'all, and get the stuff that y'all got, but y'all are struggling keeping this stuff. I got a buddy right now who, you know, thank God it's worked out for him, and I won't say his name, but he manages an artist that I used to work with. But I remember him telling me, like, man, Nick, you gotta look the part, man. You gotta get you a watch and a chain, and you gotta get the True Religions, and you gotta get the J's. And I'm like, dude, I can't really afford that. And he was like,
keep it real.
But his honest to God answer was, Nick, but if you look like money, people with money are gonna rock with you. And to a certain degree, he was absolutely correct. But at the same time, I watched him almost lose his house trying to keep a look up. And I always thought that was absurd. But I mean, I watch people do it every single day. And y'all may do it. I mean, even on a smaller scale here at college, I'm sure y'all know people who like, all right, look, he's spending his tuition check on sneakers and jackets. That's real life, but I mean, like, it happens when you get older as well. Like, I watched people who I thought really had money. I watched people who got Benzes, and then I come to find out, you know, like, the Benz, they almost living in that Benz.
Wow.
You know, they taking that Benz back to the hood, and I'm like, you live here, but you drive that, like, you tripping. Like, they gonna come take that car. You know, $700-800 car notes, and I really felt duped, you know, by the music business to a certain degree. And then I got to meet the people, and I started to realize, like, oh, like, y'all are really, everybody's an opportunist. Thank God, and one of my best friends from that we grew up with just got married just past weekend.
Chris?
Yeah, Chris got married. But my two closest friends are not in the music business. My two best friends are people who have nothing to do with this business. And it's not like I don't like people, I don't like to deal with people in this music business, but I know that if push came to shove, you know, it's about maintaining a position and maintaining a step up. I had a partner loan another guy some money that he really didn't even have to loan, but he just wanted to have it up on him. And I'm like, wow, man, that's cold. That's cold. That's a little chess move, 48 laws of power game. You playing with people, and I'm like, I don't understand those kind of games. I don't come from that.
Right.
Like, I'm very, I try to be as forthright and honest as I can. I'd say that I'm just this perfect, guy or whatever, but I just don't understand that logic. Like I said, my man loaned the guy $1,500 that he had to go borrow from somebody else, but he just wanted to be able to use it so he could tell him that, man, remember that time I gave you that 50? And I was like, that's crazy to me.
Right.
But I watch this type of stuff happen all the time. And so it just kind of jades you, and you just start to believe that every time I see somebody in the business, or I see somebody with a little bit of money, I'm very cynical now. I'm like, man, he ain't really got no money. So I'm that guy. I'm the guy that's like, he ain't even got no money. And I be feeling like I'm hating, but then I find out I'm telling the truth, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I told you. I told you.
Thank you. Ms. Lee?
Out of all the people that you've worked with, who has the best personality? Questions, guys. Get questions. Free.
Everybody that I work with who has the best personality. I guess we talking about rappers, I guess.
Who do you work with?
2 Chainz.
Singer?
2 Chainz. 2 Chainz is incredibly humble, incredibly smart. 2 Chainz is very, like, I tell you this, 2 Chainz is one of the few rappers I take my daughters to his video shoots. And like,
wow,
he'll stop a shoot, and give him a hug, take a picture, do whatever he wants. Like, 2 Chainz is real cool. Like, we've been to the Hawks game. Like, and this was the funny thing, because I was doing like an internet radio station at one point with my DJs. It was like 2007, 2008, something like that. Well, it would be later than that, so maybe 2010. We was doing this internet radio show. This was right before he got hot, and I was listening to his mixtape, and I told him, we invited him to come interview, and I was like, you're gonna be hot. I said, I see it coming, it's gonna happen. So he's always kind of dug me because I liked him early on, right?
Right.
But I didn't know nothing. I just really liked the music. It was like him and Travis Porter that was like getting hot at the same time, and I was like, dude, your stuff finna go. And so when it all worked out, he always kind of like, man, you really believed in me. But keep in mind, I only believed in him right then, because before I thought he was terrible. You know what I'm saying? But like,
but a lot of folks around Atlanta, it took a while for him to really pop off. He was around for a long time.
What people don't know is, like, 2 Chainz secretly hates everybody. Like, he does, and he has every right to. He has every right to just be as bitter and as annoyed with people as he could, because when he was trying to come up, nobody believed in him. And he's taking a completely different attitude about it, because he really could just be, completely an a-hole about everything.
Right.
I'll tell y'all another story. I remember one time he came to the studio for Jeezy, And, you know, he pulled up at the studio, and Jesus was like, yo, he wanted Jesus to jump on the song. Jesus was like, all right, cool, I'm going to finish this one song up, and as soon as I'm done, I'm going to jump on this other one. And Jesus just pretty much just waited him out. It's about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning till he just got tired and left.
Wow.
But Jesus was like, Jesus didn't want to do it. But he just was like, but he didn't want to tell him I didn't want to do it, so he just kind of played him and just was like, I'm going to just see however long he sit here, I'm just going to sit here and do what I'm doing longer. And I was like, boy, you cold.
Wow.
He was like, man, you know, man,
Wow.
everybody wants something from me. And I get it, but I see both sides of it, because at the same time, at that point, Jesus was extremely hot. And he was right. Everybody wanted something from him. And so that's what I said about, you know, being an opportunist and being in this game. When you hot, everybody wants something. Like when I got the job at CTE, all of a sudden I'm a genius. But keep in mind, the day before I got the job, I was saying the same stuff. I had the same ideas. I was just as smart. But all of a sudden, now that Jeezy's hot, now Nick's a genius. Oh my God, you gotta listen to Nick. We gotta go here. I would do panels and stuff at colleges and A3C, South by Southwest and stuff. Everybody come, oh my God, let's go hear what Nick got to say. And I'm like,
Dude, I'm the same person.
same person.
Right.
I told y'all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. But 2 Chainz is my favorite guy, hands down.
Thank you. So I'm going to try to mix 2 questions into one, so bear with me.
Okay.
So, what is one important thing you would like to tell any young entrepreneur / rapper? And then what are some like inside connections that you can tell to make them successful as well in this industry?
Inside, okay. I guess a couple of things. One, if everybody here got Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, whatever y'all on, what y'all on? All the
above.
I just don't want to learn no more usernames and passwords. I'm tired of that. But I'm on a good bit of that. Ain't no Snapchat yet. I don't think I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, they've been trying to get me on Snapchat. I can't. I'm trying to stay down with y'all. The Snapchat thing, I'm showing my age, Nick. I'm showing my age. I'm telling you.
But
I thought I was doing it on Facebook.
so nobody wants you on Snapchat. That's funny. But one thing I would tell everybody is, like, if you're not changing your profile and like your bio like fairly often, you're sitting still. Like if your thing been saying model for the last 3 years, rapper, whatever, it ain't gotta be nothing in the entertainment business. But if you've been saying being the same thing for a long time, that means you're not moving, you're stagnant. So I always say people, strive to evolve and strive to prepare yourself forward. If like I said, you shouldn't still be aspiring anything, after a certain amount of time. So always remain active. One of the best things that worked out for me was in terms of my career was I always was in the mix. Even when I left Jeezy, I immediately started taking on other projects, and I got in with the DJs. That was something that I made a quick transition to, because I knew just from watching people who came before me, the minute that you are out of sight, you out of mind. And now you start to look weak, and you start to look old, and you start to look out of touch, and now all of a sudden nobody want to deal with you. Nobody want to get you no money, because they're like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about no more. So like I said, I would say always try to do that. And then I would say also know yourself. It's a little joke I have, like I say, you gotta know if you're a sunglass guy or a hat guy. And some of y'all may know what I mean by that, but at the same time, it's like, you can't be a sunglass guy and a hat guy. Y'all ever seen a guy with sunglasses and a hat on? He looks stupid. He looks stupid. Like, you ever see a guy in the club, he looks real ignorant. But I'm a hat guy. Sunglasses look stupid on me. But but know who you are. Like I said, I didn't figure out who I was till I was about 27, 28 years old, and I was like, okay, cool. Finally, I look like this. I talk like this. I'm this heavy, or I'm this skinny, or whatever the case may be, and I started to be okay with that. And once you become okay with who you truly are, you can start to maneuver in this business. Because as long as you're chasing a target, and especially if the target is somebody else, you're always going to be in a bind. So
That's good.
That would be the one thing I would tell everybody. Like, strive to be relevant and strive to be active, and just know who you are, or start to figure out who you are.
That's good. I think we got time for one more.
Yes, this is the last question. Which artist would you like to work with and why? So someone that you haven't worked with before, who would you like to work with and why?
No, Kanye seems kind of nuts. So I don't know. Like I like Kanye, but Kanye seems like he would be like
He's on some other
a super headache to work with. I don't know. I mean, I guess Drake would be the obvious answer, but I like Pharrell. I think Pharrell is like uber creative.
He's from Virginia too.
He is from Virginia. Yeah. But I mean, from a production standpoint, from a fashion standpoint, I feel like he's always doing something that's really something. He's always doing something cool. And but also at the same time, I think he has room to grow.
Right.
And I say that to say this, like when I look at like a Diddy, right? Diddy seems to always have things figured out when he rolls something out. When he does a clothing line, when he does music, whenever he does something, he's really thought it through. I think Pharrell always has these very, very cool ideas, but I feel like I could add something to what he does. So I think I really want to work with him because I could take those cool ideas and then add an additional element to it. I don't think there's room to grow with a Kanye. I don't think there's room to grow with a Diddy. But like I said, even with a Drake, I think Drake has really got this game figured out. Like, he really got it. My man, love him or hate him.
Right.
Like, when his music comes out, it's successful. When he does shows, they're successful. When he's on anything, Saturday Night Live, talk shows, whatever, it's successful. When he's on the cover of a magazine, it's successful. Pharrell, at times, like Pharrell had a liquor at one point. It was like I was almost like some milk. It was crazy. It was called cream or something like that. But it was horrible. It's like vodka and milk or something put together. But it's stuff like that. It's like it was a cool idea because he was talking it toward the ladies. The bottle looked like a perfume bottle. It was cute, but it wasn't fleshed out completely.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. I think I would like to work with somebody where I'm like, I see the flaws, but he's on a level where if you can make it work, it could go to the moon.
So as we close out, I want to ask, who is an artist that's kind of percolated that no one has heard of right now, that maybe you've worked with, or that's on the horizon that a year from now we gonna all know about? Everybody's gonna be, who would that person be?
I mean, it's hard to say somebody y'all haven't heard of. I mean, well.
Or maybe it's someone that's just percolating.
I mean, I like Pee Wee Longway. I like Bankroll Fresh. I like, let me see. Let me think. Who? Who's that? Pee Wee. I like Pee Wee. I like Bankroll. I'm trying to think, man. It's this kid named Man Savage. He's out of Atlanta. I think he's really good. He's like a younger, fresher Walker.
Really?
Yeah. So he's all energy. He's like all energy, but I think he's really, really dope. Honestly and truly, like anybody Gucci Mane has put his hands on his work lately.
Really?
Gucci Mane's the best A&R in the music business.
Wow.
Hands down.
Why do you say that?
It's just something about like what he does is he signs people who hustle. He signs hustlers. Because he's definitely not signing them. Well, I don't want to say that on camera. but some of the guys that he has, I'm a fan of, but they're not incredible rappers. Like they ain't saying nothing that's just mind blowing. But what he does, he signs workers, and he has an incredible work ethic. If you ever sit in the studio with Gucci, he'll fly through. He can make an album in a night. Now it might be lyrically a little
wanting.
Yeah, but but I've watched him. I sat in a session with Gucci one time. It was him and like 5 or 6 other artists in the room. And he was like, all right, cool. He threw a beat on. He started bobbing his head. Everybody wanted to write. He's like, all right, cool. We're going to put this song together. Whoever got the verse, we're going to rock. He goes in, does a verse. He comes out. Everybody's still writing. So he looking around. He's like, oh, yeah. So he go back in the thing and do another verse on the same song. And he was like, you know what? We're going to go to the next song. And he did this like maybe 4 songs straight where everybody in the room was still writing. And he just flying through records.
Wow.
Now, again, lyrically, they was questionable.
Wanting.
But if you're a Gucci fan, you're not buying Gucci for lyrics. You're not looking for Gucci to blow you. He's never going to give you a Jay-Z verse.
Right.
It's just not going to happen. But he knows his fan base, and that's one thing I definitely liked about him. He was very aware of who his customers were, why they liked him, what they wanted to hear from him, the frequency in which they wanted to hear. That's why he was jumping tape after tape after tape, because a fan of Gucci expects that. A fan of Jay-Z is not expecting a mixtape every week.
Right.
A fan of Drake really, he's kind of dropping a lot of music too, but certain people, their fans are conditioned to take their music how they give it to them. And Gucci was one of those that just pops them out.
Okay.
So, but I think anybody he could rock with from You know, from Scooter to Future to Pee Wee to Thug to all these guys, these goofy people.
Right. So last question of the night. If you could give our students some advice, all of our students, of course, they're college university students, and a lot of times, you know, they may not see what their niche could be or would be in this business. So if you could give advice to any aspirant students here that are in school now, wanting to finish school, they're matriculated now, and they have visions towards maybe doing something behind the scenes or something related to business or marketing, what's kind of the final kind of advice that you would give them as they move forward?
Just go do something. Nobody in this business ends where they started. I know managers that became A&Rs, I know A&Rs that became marketing people, I know marketing people that became video directors, I know video directors that became artists. And and I think that applies in a lot of areas of life. Actually, I think that if you just go do. I think the saying paralysis by analysis. I think people spend so much time analyzing the situation, trying to make the perfect move, waiting on the perfect day, the perfect time, that never comes. It's never gonna come. And in life, it's never gonna be the perfect day to get married, to have a child, to buy a house, to do anything. The stars are never gonna line up on such a day where you're like, you know what, today is the day that I'm gonna go do that thing. You're gonna have to do it even when you don't feel like it. And I think if you condition yourself to just work, even on the days where it ain't going as well as you think it should go, you'll be surprised how fast it turn around. So just, like I said, be active and just put one foot in front of the other every day.
Right. That's great inspiration. Let's give Mr. Love a round of applause. I'm calling you Mr. Love because I got, all our students here, but he's Nick to me. But I want to thank you, and on behalf of our entire university, all of our faculty, staff, students, and of course our president, we want to thank you for coming to
Okay, so look. Apparently my only superpower is blowing shit up. Blowing up phones, blowing up cells, and blowing up homes. But your head's the only thing that I be blowing up, mo. You the light-skinned lantern. Attitude is crazy. One text wonder, Captain Curve lady. Damsel in distress in a de-stressed dress. Super duper cow, as good as it gets. Baby, come on by. I teach you how to fly.